Hey Spike, my name's Duncan. I'm here from Greenville, South Carolina.
No.
I was wanting to ask you about government involvement in federal student loans and federal college programs,
Mhm.
and how we can help drive back down the cost of college without, shafting over those of us who have already paid into some of the scam, if you will.
Thank you for that question. So I think it sounds like the way you phrased that, we both agree that the problem with the federal student loan system is that they have jacked up the pricing by underwriting. No matter what the cost of the tuition is, they're jacking up the price of that tuition.
Right.
And so what has ended up happening now, as a result, is the colleges can charge whatever they want because they don't have to worry about price equilibrium. They don't have to worry about if the price goes up too high, students don't show up. They can just keep raising it to whatever they want for the most part. And the federal government, they're underwriting these loans, which means now you owe the federal government. Good luck getting out of that loan. Even if you drop out, even if you end up not getting into the job you were looking for, you still got to pay that back. And it is nearly impossible to get out of it, even using bankruptcy. It is nearly impossible to get out of that loan. So it is a system that has left really two generations of students behind. And so I think the answer, obviously, is get the federal government out of it. And when you get the federal government out of it, that will greatly reduce the price of tuition because it has to. Because the colleges will know that they can't charge as much because there won't be anyone showing up. The students can't afford it. So that will end that. The other thing you do is you remove so many of the barriers and burdens and educational requirements that are completely unnecessary in most cases. To say that if you want to braid hair, you have to go to school for 2 years and run up five figures in student debt, tens of thousands of dollars in student debt, or if you want to, if you want to engage in an ever growing number of businesses, you have to go to school for 4 years or 8 years and run up tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt in order to be able to do that job. Remove most of those requirements so that the demand for higher education goes down to the actual equilibrium of what's even needed in the first place. Now, when you talk about the people like you who are already kind of caught up in the scam, I will defer to Joe on what her plan is for existing students with existing student debt. But I will tell you this. My personal opinion is that when an entity that ran up debt under coercion exerts that the collection of that debt, I believe that debt is ineligible. I think that debt is illegitimate. And so I personally believe that once you have reformed the system, then the best way moving forward is for the government to simply eliminate that debt because it should have never run it up in the first place. It had no business doing so. It underwrote it. It underwrote that debt on the backs of us, the taxpayer, and the treasury bond payer. So I would defer, but I would defer to Joe on that in terms of what the campaign believes, what the best way to deal with student loan debt, existing student loan debt, is. So